between these very, very powerful and organized cities. There's 132 under the United States, an average of 5.36 to 7.24 cubic miles in size, an average of 1.5 to 4.5 miles underground. Built, by and large, most of them in areas away from geotectonic areas, but there's going to be lots of new geotectonic faults established when you have force 11, 12, and 13 and 14 earthquakes that hit the Earth. The Earth, as it says in the Bible, will shake like a hut, and every wall will fall, and every mountain will be moved, and every island from its place. And that's not just a idle saying. Why are they rushing to do this? Because they know a catastrophe is coming. And where's this money coming from? It's not coming from our regular blackout budgets. It's coming from the illegal sale of drugs. In the United States, there's at least, by conservative estimates, $250 billion to $500 billion of illegal drugs just sold in the United States that goes directly into underground budgets, and 90 to 95% goes for dumb one. And I'm contacted all the time by all kinds of people. Most of them are cowardly because they won't come live on my show, but I will tell them about them, although I won't say their name. One was a Canadian who actually was working on the Aurora spacecraft, our fleet. We have more than one fleet of Aurora-based spacecraft that fly at sublight speeds to our base on the moon and our colony on Mars. We also, this technology is far beyond that, and actually this is the old stuff. They call the Model Ts. They have stuff now that goes above light. They have all kinds of advanced technology that they won't tell you about that could heal and stop pretty well all diseases they don't want you to know. Okay? And the worst of it all is Project Omega. Project Omega is an underground facility. Its headquarters are under Colorado, finished by George Bush Sr. This oversees all secret agencies, whether it's the GRU, the FSB, the Brazilian Secret Police, the Mossad, the Canadian Security Intelligence Service, the FBI, MI6. All of them are totally integrated into this octopus called Project Omega. It is run by both human and non-human entities. The World Trade Organization, Codex Alimentarius, Population Control, DU, suppressed energy technologies, hoarded anti-aging disease cures, financial henchmen linked to global IMF population control, Morgellons, chronic wasting disease is another nanotechnology disease specifically designed to destroy all of the ability for people to hunt, to survive if there ever was a cataclysm. They're now found at least 10 states and in 2 provinces. And we have Scott Kowalski on the program, and they've told him, of course, the Michigan Department of Wildlife and their biologists said, you can't be dying, but his fingers are dissolving. Literally, his fingers are dissolving. He's down to stubs. His arms are dissolving. He's been told he's 90 to 120 days left. So if anybody's listening to this program tonight, have some compassion and try to help this man, because his disease is coming to you. And they want to make certain that you can't possibly go hunting or eat any meat, because they're ready to control all food. In fact, I was told by my secret sources that they plan on having, by the next 12 to 14 years, all food will be grown in large buildings. This is a literal statement I was told, 90 stories high, half a mile wide, and 2 miles long, that will grow simulated meat genetically engineered on rollers, fruit grown on beds and hydroponics from cell culture and using advanced cell-based stem cell technologies. And there will be no more trees or animals. It will all be grown in these vats. That's what they want. All be genetically modified, so they'll have genetically modified people. And then to add insult to industry, we have the I-35 Canamex Transportation Corridor by the King of Spain, who, by the way, has the title of King of Jerusalem. Isn't that interesting? 10 miles right away with the new eminent domain, seizure of property and abusive administrative controls. Instead of the courts, the administrative courts, having rights to take away property, which they don't have any constitutional rights, they're going to seize property. But they also have a 200-foot right-of-way below ground to lay toxic waste pipelines, water lines, high-tension plasma energy lines, anything they want. And they're going to link all the freeways in America, called a smart highway system, to these systems, so you will be not able to go off any highway anywhere, and all the other areas will be rewilded. They're going to literally set up walls and barriers to have the buffalo roam in the plains. Large areas of California, the Midwest, and so on will have wild animals, and if you go out there, you're going to have wild wolves, buffalo, and wild animals out there like you wouldn't believe. That's their plan. Plus, They're genetically engineering to try to resurrect dinosaurs, just like Jurassic Park, and they can do it. If you think they can't do it, you're living in a dream world. Full integration with all the highway systems. They want to have a tag for tracking, satellite control. It's tied in with the OnStar. The OnStar satellite system in your car has more power than the Apollo space missions that went to the moon. That system can not only control your ABS and your brakes, but it can control the braking systems on the left or right tire. It can actually make your car go over a cliff or control it at their command by satellite control. So you should be aware, if you have an OnStar system and an advanced ABS system in your car, they are at any time in total control of your vehicle. The Free Trade of the Americas, of course, is their little plan, and it's published actually in the journal Foreign Affairs, September 1971, for Fortress North America, where you get a North American passport. And of course, they want to have new cannon fodder, another 100 million new poor, black, Hispanic, Mexican, or Central and South American, for cannon fodder for their new wars. I call them white, Anglo-Saxon, rich scum. And I happen to be white, but I'm not rich scum. But there are. And in fact, what happens when you see Bohemian Grove and these other people, this is very evil. And they want to have the American Amero on par with the euro and, of course, the regional European, Asian currency. And their plan is to have all these integrated by 2010 so that all other currencies will be pegged to them, including the Russian ruble, the yen, the yen. All currencies on Earth will be pegged to one of these regional currencies. And they're tied into an electronic currency system that will be the literal mark of the beast. And I'll show you what it is. Professor Stephen Jones, he received rendition where he's on administrative leave. I've been hassled by the Board of Medical Examiners trying to drum up charges out of nothing. Eric Schein, a U.S. merchant marine, he has been hassled as a whistleblower with millions of dollars missing from the U.S. Treasury and a sellout of our merchant operations and national security. Freeport, Bahamas, these other facilities has containers coming in that could house large-sized nuclear weapons and other radioisotopes or biological weapons, will now be seen over by Hutchinson-Lampoa, a branch of the People's Republican Army of China. And what they do is what's called administrative rendition. They have you licensed. And again, the license goes right back to the mercantilism of the royals. And you have to understand that we are still in the same associations and control under the Queen. The Crown is actually not the Queen. The Crown is a mile-square area of Great Britain, London, the city of London, that is the most powerful single financial capital in the world, and it is directly under the control of the Jesuits. The Crown, in fact, and all of the legal associations for all the countries on the earth belong to the Bar, which is the British Authorized Registry, which is slightly higher than a gentleman and slightly lower than a lord. So when you belong to the Bar and you're a lawyer, which are most of the politicians in all of our countries in the world, you happen to belong to the power of the Crown, which is directly under the control of the Jesuit general. That's just a fact. If you want to check all these facts, so get the book Vatican Assassins. It's been a little bit late in coming, but there's an extra few hundred pages since we started announcing it was coming back in October with Eric John Phelps, and I can tell you I've checked through his documentation and there's nothing wrong with it. It is all correct. But with the hate crime bills, you better get your copy soon, because all this stuff is going to fade into history, just like those movies years ago where everybody had to become a page of a book because they want to get rid of all the books. The book burning is coming. The hate crime is coming. They don't want truth. Truth is a detergent to the New World Order. What kind of recommendations? Well, there's a few basic ones. I tell people to get a first line of defense kit, which I put together last year. Super silver, which is not a regular colloidal silver. It's a nano silver oxygen wrap that kills all known pathogens. Your Second Amendment supplies, guns, crossbows, slingshots, air compressor guns. And we're going to set up some little private networks. I know how to make non-lethal type of devices, let's put it that way, very easily. So people need to have these little homemade deals around because there's going to be rough times coming. They need to have things like whole foods that contain antioxidants and nutrients like the Uri International Foods. They should have freeze-dried food like eFoods Direct or Freeze Dry Guy, which is based here in California. And they need to have these because we have only 3 to 5 days of food nationally. We used to have a year and a half. If there is a national code red, and I've been told this by FEMA and elsewhere, they will close all of the freeways And they will shut down on purpose in Canada and the United States the grid. The grid is going to be shut down. So if you are